Hello everybody, my name is Sheffrey and welcome back to another episode of Satisfactory. And today I'm going to show you how easy radio control units can be. Well, partially because I already have the aluminum part of the build crafted from last time. However, even the rest of it is honestly pretty straightforward. We're just going to be using a couple alternate recipes, and we're not even going to need to use any oil, which is pretty impressive. I like to cut out entire lines of inputs whenever I can. Or as long as it makes it easier. So when you got recipes where you can literally cut out an entire thing like oil, for example, or cut copper out for another example, I usually tend to do it when I can. So we're going to be using a few alternate recipes today. Let me just double check and I'll tell you which ones they are. We have got the stitched iron plate, which is going to take wire and iron plates to make reinforced iron plates. We have also got the alternate silicon circuit board, however you say that, which takes silica and copper sheets, and that is going to make some circuit boards, totally removing oil from our build system here. And then finally, that's going to be it. I think those are the only two alternate recipe. Oh, the third one, crystal computer. That's our third alternate recipe in this list. That's going to be taking the circuit boards and the crystal oscillators, and that's going to be making computers. And then all together in the very end, we take crystal oscillators, we take computers, and we take our aluminum casing from our factory up in the red forest there. And this is going to put out 5 radio control units per minute and 4 crystal oscillators per minute. And that's going to cover all my crafting, hopefully. The 4 crystal oscillators are kind of just a bonus to use for making like all the big billboards and stuff that use crystal oscillators. And then like maybe a couple other things here and there if I want to like hand make anything. And then the radio control units are going to be used for many of the blenders and everything that we're going to be using going forward. I've got a couple fairly large projects planned going forward. One's going to be our super power project, which is going to eventually make 8,100 rocket fuel, which is going to obviously be quite a bit of work. That's probably going to take up a few episodes, and then we're going to move into some heat sinks and cooling systems as we make our way through the like late mid game, I suppose. We're not in end game just yet, but I am going to be building in mind with Mark III. What are they called? The Mark III extractors, because that we are going to have those pretty soon. We just have to unlock the leading edge production. We're going to need some fused modular frames, some supercomputers, and some pipes. I think I already have handcrafted some supercomputers, and I'll probably end up doing the same for some fused modular frames. I'll have to plan out a fused modular frame build as well. But that's just kind of what I did up here. This used to be the explosive rebar ammo and is now a handmade supercomputer build. So I've kind of got a little handful here stashed away already. So they're kind of working away already. And then I've just been kind of working away on, I grabbed a few hard drives, and I've just been kind of making my way through researching them, trying to make sure I actually have all the alternate recipes I'm going to be using going forward. One you're going to need for sure in the future is right here. I already have it. It's turbo blend fuel. And that is going to, I didn't realize when I was planning things out before, I didn't include this alternate recipe. And my original rocket fuel build required like 30,000 megawatts of power and just hundreds and hundreds, like over 500 machines to put the whole thing together. So I was like, wow, that's a big old project. But then I switched over to turbo blend fuel, and now it only wants about half that power and cuts out a good few hundred machines as well. So we're definitely going to be using, I'm not picking it just yet because as I research my other hard drives, if you guys don't pick your hard drives until you absolutely need them, because you can kind of use this to kind of rig the system of not pulling a bunch of recipes over and over again. So I kind of just bank all my hard drives away until I actually need them, and that just kind of helps eliminate some of these things from the pool of recipes it's pulling from. So basically I think I put this one in and I immediately pulled turbo blend fuel, which is perfect. Anyway, to wrap things up and we can move on for today's episode, where I've got our to-do list on the side. We got iron, copper smelters, iron plates, and reinforced plates, copper wire cable sheets, quartz crystal silica, circuit boards, and crystal oscillators, crystal computers, and radio control units. That's kind of how I'm going to break it down. Hopefully it's easy to follow along. If you want to follow along and build along with me, you should be able to go to the Google Drive as per usual and go to episode 22 start. I think it's 22. It should, whatever, it's usually the most recent one that's in there. So yeah, hop on into episode 22 start. You'll start right there, right standing by that window, just like I was. And you'll be set up, ready to go with, you'll be all caught up on the world save, any changes I've made in between the episodes. And also it'll kind of just give you all the things kind of set up. I've already got the platform set up, ready to go. All of our miners and everything. And I just kind of saved us all a whole bunch of time of the monotonous work. And I believe, if I remember correctly, I've got a nice little tower kind of set up right about here. Or actually it might be, I can't really remember. It's over in this general area. I can't really remember off the top of my head now. But it's kind of all set up with everything ready to go. So I'm going to meet you guys over there. I'll whip the map open again once we get there. Thank you guys again for people who are supporting the channel, Patreon or YouTube memberships, Bambi, Raytrace, and Lily. I appreciate you guys. But let's head on over and let's get started on some work today. Here it is. Okay, so this is the pre-built tower that I've gone ahead and set up for us. Each floor should have enough space for everything that we're going to be doing here. So we're going to have, you know, a fair bit of constructor. Actually, the bottom floor is going to be mostly smelters. But then it's going to be like constructors, assemblers, maybe a mix of constructors and assemblers. And then there's going to be 2 floors, I believe, of the manufacturers in the very end. Because we have 9 manufacturers for the crystal oscillators. And then I think it's like 3. It's 2. It's 2 manufacturers. So it's 11 manufacturers total. So we'll probably end up splitting them between 2 floors. And then, or maybe even 3 floors. We'll decide in the very end. But anyway, I forgot to tell you where we are. We are over right about here. So you can kind of see this little module of water here. That's this thing right here. I've tapped into, I believe this is an iron node right here, and that is a copper node right there. Oh, I'm almost gotta stay close to the power lines. I'm gonna fall out of the sky. So yeah, we have copper coming through here, which is, I believe I've already set these clocked the way they should be. So yeah, you have 234 copper coming in from here. And then we have our iron here is 112.5. So those are kind of coming up and across. Those are going to go into some smelters down here. And there goes my power. So let's go ahead and switch our jetpacks over so we can actually just fly around a little bit easier, because I don't think I have much power hooked up to the building yet. Oh, I guess I do. It's up on the other side though. And then the other 2 lines that are coming in for this build, we've got some quartz right here. And then this empty line is going to be the 80 encased aluminum things that we're going to need. Or aluminum casings, I should say. I got to bring those down from our factory up there, which I just used. I connected everything together. Basically, I ran the quartz line down. But I connected it all running along the feeder line that was feeding the factory anyway. So you just got one line kind of running in reverse this time. So I'm up here at the 2 quartz nodes that are right here. And we have the one that's feeding our aluminum factory up top there. And then you got our other one, which is set to 279.9. You need 3 power shards for that. I've got this hooked up to a little thing here. And then coming down this line here, which is this one, this empty one, this is going to be the aluminum casings. So I just have to hook up, I have to break off, what were we making? We're making like 200 something. So I'll break off, maybe I'll do it with like some splitters. I'll make it so it's actually exactly a line of 80 instead of having to back the whole line up and try to figure it out from there. So let's try going just 80 on the belt. And then we can go from there. But before we get started with that, actually, I'll tell you, actually, I think that is all the numbers. That's all the numbers covered now. So we can head back down here and we can get started on actually putting this together. Oh God, don't land in this, don't land in the gas. There's a lot of mean things along here that don't like me very much. Okay, back at the factory here, I went ahead and I just kind of looped power around on the ceiling so I can still use my little hover pack to get around. So we can actually go ahead and start putting down all the smelters that we're going to need. How many smelters do we need? Honestly, not that many. I think it's only about, what do we got here? 14? Nope, I can't count. That's 12. It's 8 for copper smelters and it's 4 for iron ingots. So that's pretty straightforward. We definitely have enough room for all that down here. So yeah, it's definitely a bit of smaller numbers for this build, but honestly, these are really just for crafting purposes. And any recipes that actually take crystal oscillators or radio control units in the future, I want to build like a much bigger factory kind of dedicated to putting those out themselves. Because otherwise I would just kind of be having to do this like as a massive thing and then splitting off things I need for crafting and then splitting the rest off to be sent elsewhere. And I was like, you know what? Let's make it easy. Just make a little crafting only and then we'll go from there. So first floor, at the very bottom here, it actually works out that you don't need too many machines because I did lose some of my space to this little mountain here, but I thought this spot was just kind of a really cool spot and fits in and doesn't block any of the natural roads or anything. I'm really enjoying kind of keeping the natural roads open so it's a little bit easier to get around, but I'll just have to kind of come through here and take out some of this grass. We'll worry about that later. So let's start with the smelters, go to our blueprints. Gotta like using blueprints now, makes everything so much faster. So go to our foundry list, then we're gonna go to our we'll do our 2 smelters. Everything's lifted still, which I kind of enjoy. I think I may make some separate blueprints where things aren't lifted, just in case I don't want to do that. But honestly, there's not too many factories. I think I'm going to build things all on the ground floor at this point. So I kind of like it doing this way. I think since they come in like that, we'll maybe put them about right there. Let's make sure I have enough space. We'll go 1 and then 2, so that can be my oh, there we go. Yeah, these are the mergers on the back. I think they are. I think these are the okay. No, so that's why it's a little hard to have it all colored in the silver because it's hard to tell what's which. So the mergers are on the back there. So these are the feed line. We'll connect this up through here. And this needs to put out exactly 112.5 iron ingots. So if I went 112.5 divided by 4, I don't want to do that. So let's go, currently we're going to get 120. So let's just go 120 minus 112.5, which I'm pretty sure 7.5. So let's take 7.5 off of you to make you 22.5. All right, iron part of our iron ingot part of our build is now done. So now we need to get the rest of them set up, the 8 smelters for doing the copper ingots. So that I may actually, since you know that might look a little weird trying to fit 8 of those in here, I think I may actually do my double stack. We go to I don't have a dollar. Oh, I was thinking of my constructors. So I think maybe I'll set it up like the way I do my constructors though. So I'll do 2 on the bottom and then I'll do a floor above and then I'll go from there. So we'll go 1, 2, because yeah, as you can see, this would be quite tight if I tried to fit actual all 8 down here. So we'll pull a floor out from here. Sorry, my brain stopped working there for a second. Yeah, now we have the 8 smelters here that are going to be doing the copper ingots. Now this part is going to be pretty easy. We just have to set a conveyor hole on here and then put a splitter down below so that we can have a lift coming up top and then it'll feed the rest of it into here. So let's go ahead and get the iron all finished up here first. So we'll grab a little lift. We'll put it in. Actually, maybe we'll lift up from right from the hole. Just like that. And we'll send this one sideways. We'll set that to straight, going like that. And then for this one, grab an extra splitter. We'll put right here. Yeah, there we go. So, sorry, brain stopped working for a second. So I got my hookup going through here. Splitter going right to this one. So feeds that line of 4 there. Goes up through this lift in here. Feeds up these 4 up here. Literally just left myself the perfect amount of space. Couldn't have asked for anything better. So I also use the 1 meter foundations here. And then we'll just add in some little, you know, support pillars or something in here. Or maybe even fill in the floor completely and make it like a double floor scenario. But at least those are done. And those are all not hooked up correctly yet. So I need a total of 201 plus 33. So I need 234 copper ingots coming out of here. So let's go 234 divided by 8. 29.25. So let's go. That's pretty easy enough. So let's just do that for, split evenly. Copper ingot. 29.25. Copy that. Then just paste it on everybody. Alright, that part is now all done off the to-do list. Just quickly hooked it up to power since that was a pretty easy step to complete. Those will all get backed up, as you can see, so we just have all our ingots ready to go. That means we can move into our iron plates and reinforced iron plates by coming up top here. So we're going to be starting to do some constructors and not the assemblers on this floor. I think the assemblers I'm going to wait to put upstairs. So I think on this floor, what do I need? I need 14 constructors for wire. And then I need 4 constructors, only 4 constructors for doing iron plates. Can I fit that down here in this little section? And that seems fresh because like that's where this iron is headed to. That's all it does. So let me see if I can squeeze my little 4 constructors in here. Okay, yeah, there just really wasn't a good way to fit 4 of them down there without like really encroaching on some stuff. So I was just like, you know what, that's okay. We'll leave some space for maybe putting in like some stairs or something to get down there, in and out. So the 4 constructors are now up here. He's going to be doing iron plates. So as you know, each iron plate does 20, so this will be 80. I need to take away 5, so we'll go to the first one here. We'll dumb this down to 15. And then everything else can just be normal. Okay, so iron plate section is done. That means we can do our reinforced iron plates, which is going to be upstairs. Before I go ahead and move on for that one, though, I am going to set myself up on this floor. Actually, wait, maybe I should split this up a little bit. How many floors I got left? Yeah, so I gotta do 14 constructors for wire on this floor. So we can use... Okay, I take it back. So instead of doing the 14 copper wire constructors on this floor, since it won't really fit, I mean, it probably could, but I'd have to like really squeeze things in here. Instead, I'm going to I'll put the copper stuff up one floor, so I'll put all the copper ones up there. So that means I'm pretty sure I can fit 15, or what is it, 16? I think I need 16 constructors. I'm pretty sure I can fit that up there. So down here, I'll actually put the quartz ones. So I need 8 quartz crystal constructors and then 1 doing silica. So we'll grab our 8 constructors. It's currently a double. Will this actually work? No, the floors are too close together. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and, I mean, I guess I could always just shift where the floors are, but... Okay, sorry to jump ahead. I ended up doing some flip-flopping. Well, some flip-flopping back and forth on what I wanted to do. So instead of trying to like pack things in like super crazy on top of each other, and I wish I had to give myself a little bit more space. I wish I had gone like maybe back one more, or, you know, just give myself a little bit more space. Unfortunately, this tower, it would be kind of annoying to make this tower a little bit bigger all the way around. So what I ended up doing, or what I'm going to do, is I'm going to have 5 constructors, even though I need 8 doing quartz crystal. I'm just going to have 5, and then I'm going to overclock them, because, I mean, power shards are a little bit easier to come across in this game now. And then the one on the very end here, this is going to be doing our silica. That's all at the very end. That's why I figured I'd connect it all on one manifold of the raw quartz input, and then we'll just keep it separate on the very end. But that is technically the quartz crystal and silica part of the build done. I know I did that out of order, but that's because as I was putting this together, I realized I wanted to switch it up a little bit. So now we're going to come up here, and we're going to be doing the copper wire and the cable and the sheets and all that fun stuff. Okay, just as a quick update, I also deleted, there was another floor here. I took it out. I'm actually going to make the tower just a little bit taller, so that this way I can stack my constructors in here a little bit better. And it won't be quite as frustrating to put everything together. So we're going to grab 8 constructors, double stack, just to get started off with, and then I'll add a couple more on. So we'll grab that, and we'll put it right about... Hey, which way is the input coming from? It comes from the back. I mean, oh, right, that's the... I can always turn which way that's facing, but we'll grab that. We'll put that in right about maybe there. That might work. Okay, yeah, I'm going to move it here to the back corner. I think this would be the best option for placing it. So that gets me 8 of the 14 that I need. And so you could either just overclock here if you want, or I'm just going to add on the extra 6 that we're going to need, because it's really not going to be that hard. So we'll just kind of come around the back here. What I'll do is I'll take out this lift here. We'll end up probably just moving it a little bit so that I can put a splitter in up here. Okay, there we go. I ended up doing all 14, so I'm not going to do any overclocking here. I'm actually going to be underclocking because I need a total of 402 per minute. Really? I need 2? Does that mean I'm going to have to make one, like one of these is going to be making, no, it's not. That'll be okay. So 402 divided by 10 would be 40.2. Let's see if that actually works. So these are copper wire. I don't know why I did divide it by 10, but 402 divided by 14 is this crazy number. So we're going to go ahead and not do that. I think what we'll actually do is we'll take our 30 times 14, we get 420. So if I need 402, I need to take off 18. So I'm going to drop this down to 12, and that should be fine. No crazy complicated numbers to put in there anywhere. Everyone else can just be 100%. So now to finish off what I'm, I guess, going to call the whole copper section, even though I've kind of put this a little bit out of order now. We're going to be putting down 5 constructors for cables, possibly 4 in overclocking because I think it's only like a very, very small amount you need for the other one. And then we need 2 constructors for copper sheets. So we'll do the copper sheets first. We can grab our 3 constructor blueprint. We'll just delete one off the end. Make sure our input is coming up the right way. Say, let's put you about right. These ones can go in right there. And then, like I said, I'll just delete the one off the end. Oops. I don't want to delete the whole thing, just the one on the very end. Thank you. So 2 constructors doing copper sheets. And it's going to be a total of 16.5 copper sheets, I think it is. $16.5 copper sheets. So since we get 20, I mean 16.5 divided by 2 is easy, right? Not times 2, divided by 2. 8.25. Okay, that's easy enough. So we go 8.25. And then 8.25. And then those are ready to go. Copper sheets done. And then we just got to do the cables. So like I said, probably just going to do is 4. Because otherwise, if I had to add a 5th, I think it's just for like a couple cables. So okay, that should work. So we got our 4 in here, and that is going to be doing cable. So I need a total of 126 cable. What a weird number. So I believe this is going to give us 120. So yeah, I need to add 6. Yeah, I'm definitely just going to overclock this instead of making an extra one just to make 6. So we'll grab some power shards, which I have plenty of. Pop one in there. We'll add 6 onto one of you to make it 120%. And everyone else can just be normal. And then that is going to be all the constructors of this build, I believe. I can power them on yet. So that, yeah, all the constructors are now done. So now we can move on to the assemblers, which is honestly just so much easier. I need 4 assemblers for the stitched iron plates. I need 1 assembler for the silicon circuit board. And I need 2 assemblers for the crystal computers. Honestly, pretty straightforward. So that'll go on to this part up here. And then we're going to have to add on a couple more floors. Be a bit of a taller tower than I thought it was going to be. That'll be give us the room we need for our manufacturers. Okay, I went ahead and I kind of turned everything on just so I can make sure everything's actually like running properly. You can see things are a little backed up at the moment, but that's just because, well, they were already turned on. So I wanted to just make sure that if you guys are following along, nothing too crazy is going on. I just went ahead and I've hooked up some of the belts. You know, we got the copper going up and around from down there. It's kind of going up and above. The belts don't have to be hooked up exactly the same way that I do. Essentially, you just want to make sure your lines are hooked up to the proper machines. But you can kind of send them around, just put them outside as like a cool decoration. You can keep them inside, going from floor to floor. If you want to not be like me and use logistics floors, you can do that too. Just make sure all of your numbers are still correct. I can't remember if I showed you guys exactly what to do on the silica here. So what I ended up doing might be a little weird and probably a little dumb. But I clocked these first two to do 45 per minute. These next two in line to do 15 per minute. They're downclocked. And then this one on the end is downclocked all the way to 6 per minute. Now, is that a little silly? Probably, but it made the math really easy for myself and I didn't have to spend too much time doing weird calculations. Then you have 16.5 silica here on the very end. So, that is pretty much all the raw materials we need running around. Copper wire, cable, and sheets are also all done on this floor and this floor. Kind of a two-floor part. So everything's kind of flowing around there. We got our copper wire all kind of coming together. Copper sheets there, and the wire will be there. So now I can actually get onto the assemblers, as I was saying before. I just wanted to make sure everything was up and running first. So let's do our silicon circuit board. So that needs the silica, which is going to be coming from down below there. And then it also needs the copper sheets from about right there. So I'm going to say that the one assembler for the silicon circuit board should probably be about right here. I'm not going to do it with a blueprint because I don't have a singular assembler blueprint. I should probably make one at some point, shouldn't I? So, but we'll put that one down right about there. And that is going to be our silicon circuit board, which I actually don't have. I'll have to go into my list of recipes to grab it really quick. But that is going to be the silicon circuit board. It's going to be doing 7.5 per minute. There we go. See, that's why you always keep some hard drives researched in the MAM ready to go. So when you need to grab your recipe, you just go ahead and grab it. So we got the silicon circuit board alternate recipe, 7.5 per minute. That is all done. I'll just do the inputs and outputs for that in just a minute. But let's figure out our other assemblers first, shall we? So we have the 4 assemblers doing the stitched iron plates. That's wire and iron plates. That can probably go more on this side. And then the other 2 for the crystal computers. Actually, I'll kind of maybe put those all like a line here. So let's go... we can use blueprints now for this one. So we'll grab our assembler blueprints. We'll put in our... This can be our 2 for our crystal computer. Yeah, I think that works. So we got our 1 here. That's going to do our silicon circuit board. We got our 4 here. That's going to do our stitched iron plate. And then we got our 2 here in the back. That's going to do our crystal oscillators. And then I got a little bit of a gap here. We can maybe call that like a stairwell going up or whatever. And then from here, we can put on another floor. Probably going to need another couple floors actually. So that we can actually put the manufacturers on. But let's go ahead and get all these kind of hooked up. So these are going to be stitched iron plates. Don't have to do any underclocking or overclocking here. That's going to be fully set, ready to go. That's going to make a total of 22.5 per minute, just in case you were wondering. Then we've got our 2 over here doing our crystal computers. They are going to do a whole 5 per minute. Crystal computers, do I have that one unlocked yet either? No, I do not. So let's go ahead and grab our MAM here. This is why I like to keep them ready to go. Go to our hard drive library. See if we can find crystal computer in there, right there. I'm going to select the reward for that one. So we can now set this to be crystal computer. And that makes a total of 3.33. I need a total of 5, so I'm going to make this 2.5. I'm going to do the same to the other one. So that is the computer part of the build done. And then this is going to be crystal. Nope, sorry. This is going to be the stitched iron plates. And that's all ready to go. Okay, so the assemblers are done. We'll just get those all hooked up. Let me put the, we'll hook those up really quick. And then let me get the extra floors put on as well. Maybe I'll hook the belts up as well. Just so we can kind of get things going. It usually takes a little bit to get enough like reinforced iron plates to kind of get your system going. So definitely doesn't hurt to get some of this up and running. Alright, sorry if I'm jumping ahead a little bit. As you can see, I got a couple of manufacturers down. I think my recording crashed, and thankfully I caught it just in time to where I was literally just putting these down. So essentially, like I was saying, I needed 9 manufacturers for the crystal oscillators. And with my building space, it wouldn't really work without, you know, throwing one more manufacturer up on like another floor. So what I ended up doing was I just did 2 floors of 4, so that gives me 8, and then I'll just overclock one of them or a couple of them just to give myself that little bit extra that I need, because each one makes 1 crystal oscillator anyway, so we can just kind of figure it out from there. So 4 of these are actually that this now I'm thinking about it, works out pretty well. So one of these floors can basically be dedicated to the crystal oscillators we're going to use for crafting. And then the other 5, which means we'll just boost one of these to make 5 crystal oscillators per minute. Those 5 will go to the radio control units, which are going to be up on this upper floor here. So we can finally now put this last one in. The 2 manufacturers, I'm using the triple inputs on these ones. So we're going to grab these ones, put them down. This will be our top floor. I'm going to put these probably right about there. Give myself enough space to still add in my little storage structure up here when I need to. Gotta be careful because I'm almost flying away from where my power is. So yeah, these are going to be the radio control units. These are going to be set to 100%. So radio control unit right there. 2.5 on that one, 2.5 on this one. And then we're going to come down to our floor of 4 manufacturers here. And I need a total of 5 to come out of here of the crystal oscillators. So I could add 2.5 to 2 of them. Or I could add one whole one to this. What is 1.5? Okay, so let's do 1.25. Since I gotta use 2 anyway. Or sorry, yeah, my brain didn't work there for a second. So yeah, both of these are gonna be set to 1.5. That'll give you that extra 1. So now this floor makes a total of 5 per minute. So that's not too bad. Everyone should still be ready to go. So that means now I just need to hook up the input feeds of the these are the what floor we were going to work. Crystal oscillators. That's these. These are all set to normal, so that's fine. So we're going to set up all our inputs for these, and that way we can get these going. Sorry if I missed anything in the little crash there, but I think I pretty much ended off where I was like, okay, I'm gonna hook things up, so things are now hooked up, and then I added the couple extra floors, and then I started putting down the manufacturers, and I was like, hey, wait a second, I'm not recording. So yeah, we got the manufacturers down. We're very, very close to finishing this off. And actually, I just realized that could definitely come off the to-do list. But we're very close. We just got to get these hooked up. And then we get our storage thing up on the very top here. Same thing we're going to do for this floor of 4. We're going to add in a storage and a dimensional depot. Just in case I ever need to come grab a bunch of them. Okay, so I got things hooked up to power at least. So now I just need to do the actual belts. So, alright, yeah, I got all the storages done as well. So they're all going into smart splitters, feeding into their respective storages. And then I'll set up a awesome sink somewhere. Maybe even up here on the top, because I still need to do a storage for this system as well. Actually, I just realized this is on the wrong floor. This one is supposed to go upstairs, because that's where these are supposed to go. These crystal oscillators here are coming up top, and then I actually need to make this up here. Where do the mergers come out? Okay, so down here. So we're going to put ourselves a nice little storage container. This is basically how I do all my overflow systems now. The dimensional depot on top. We'll lift going into that. And then we'll grab a smart splitter. Put it right here. Grab them coming to there. Those go there. And then we grab our awesome sink. Should be able to go down right here. I think it's just that power pole that's like throwing it off a little bit right now. Okay, so I think what I'll do to make this like nice, super easy, and I also won't have to worry about adding in another awesome sink anywhere, is I will just throw the excess, like once this backs up, well, it'll take a while before it does, but once this backs up, it'll send the 4 excess crystal oscillators into this line here. So I think what I'll do is I'll just add in my little conveyor holes going down through here. Put it like right there. I think that should be okay for down below. And then we'll put that one in there. And then we grab this. Oh my god, did I line it up perfectly? Oh, so close. Okay, so we're gonna grab this. I have that facing the wrong way, I just realized. So we're going to grab our lift. We want it to be an input. Place it around like that. And then, so the center output is going to be overflow. And the left will be undefined, so that will be the crystal. So there we go. So now I just got to hook this up here. Okay, so now since I've done that though, I'm going to have to come to here. And instead of so the left output is going to be, it's going to be our radio control unit. And then our center output will be any undefined. So that will send the excess crystal oscillators into the sink without actually firing them into here. Actually, so this will be overflow, not any undefined. So now I just got to finish hooking up all the inputs for these manufacturers. So this one, these crystal oscillators coming up here. I'll do that as the first hole. Oh, whoopsie. I'll do that as the first hole. Make sure that's going the right way. That's clipped in. Bring this down here. Actually, I'll bring these up because I like having them up off the floor. And it's about, I think it's 1, 2, 3, 4 off the ground. It is indeed. Okay. And then I can just put in my little extra supports going through here, make it look real. So that's going to take my crystal oscillators upstairs. And then what else do you need? You need the aluminum casings that's going to come from that line down there. So we just got to bring that one all the way up from down below. That should be pretty straightforward. And then so actually what I'll do, I'll put that in as a floor hole right here. Just going all the way down. I missed that one. And that way, you can feed the belts into it like that. So we go there. Why can that not connect? Okay, so it's because of that one. There we go. I wanted to feed in, not out. There we go. So that's going to feed our aluminum casings in. That's the part I still technically haven't done yet. Okay, so I'm doing that one as the top, the very top input. And then this bottom one, this can be the computers. And those computers are going to be coming from the crystal computers, which is right here. So we're going to send that one up and over. So we'll have to send that kind of through the floors here. And then we'll set up a little, let's get a little floor hole shenanigans set up in here. Make sure it's actually going the right direction. And then we'll hook that up to the computers. And then hopefully things should start moving through the system. What am I missing in terms of hookups? Oh, right. I still got to hook to these ones as well. So these get the quartz crystal, the cable, and the reinforced iron plates. But the actual inputs of these is actually pretty simple because I can just bring them around from here. I don't have to do like double inputs or anything. Alright, jumping ahead on you guys one more time. Now that I've got everything all hooked up, I have all these massive amounts of lifts and belts and things flying all over the place. But, you know, this is following in line with my no more using logistics floors, at least for the most part. You might see me use them here and there, but I really like keeping everything kind of visible in the factory, like on the factory floors. So we got our lifts kind of flying everything all around. The only thing I haven't hooked up yet, obviously, is the aluminum casings because those are not coming in yet. But we do have everything at least starting to feed into the crystal oscillators, which feels good. Bit of a crazy manifold system I sort of made for that, where I hooked up the 8 manufacturers kind of all on one manifold line. So this is the start of it coming in right here, and then it flows past these two, goes around on this nice little bus line to those two, and those come up off the ends of those. We've got lifts coming up there, feeding into this part, second part right here, sends it on to this bus system, which sends it all around like that. So theoretically, this should all work. As far as I can tell, it seems to be working correctly so far. If you are building along and you have any questions about, you know, maybe things got messed up, or maybe if you notice I messed something up, feel free to leave a comment down below, or also join the Discord where you can jump in, have a chat, get some inspiration for ideas, or, you know, get some troubleshooting things done. As far as I can tell, though, this is now up and running, so I'm going to take our to-do list basically and finish it off. And the only other thing we actually have to do before this factory fully powers itself up, because I've got everything running into almost all the inputs now, except, as you will see, these ones on the very top need my 80 aluminum casing per minute, and that is going through this big long lift system through here. So we just have to head back over to our aluminum factory. We're going to set up exactly, hopefully, 80 aluminum casings to come over here and start fixing up this factory. I'm kind of glad I have turned it on already, though, and got everything kind of building up as we go along, because this is such a long-winded system that if you waited until the very end to kick everything on, I mean, you'd be waiting forever for everything to balance out. So at least in this scenario, I see Quartz is rolling around a lot, lots of cables rolling around. Like I said earlier, the only thing we're probably going to be waiting quite a few on is going to be our reinforced iron plates, but those will catch up slowly. So yeah, let's head on over to the aluminum factory and we'll get these casings start coming over here. There we go, made it back to our sweet looking, man, I actually really like this. I like coming back to factories sometimes and being like, man, I actually kind of really appreciate the work I put into this one. So we got our 100% efficient aluminum factory here. We seem to be having everything running still properly, even our recycled water system, which again, I know is probably overkill and you don't need a lot of it, but, and I do appreciate everyone giving me tips and everything, but it works. So I'm just not going to touch it because I'm afraid if I touch it, I'll break it. So I'm just going to kind of leave it as is. The only thing, as you can see, we're missing here is we're missing some coal. But that is probably because I have a truck issue that I need to figure out. Because if I go to here, we've got, so tell us our input. So 289 items per minute. This is supposed to be 300, and that would be why it is kind of backing up the system a little bit. It probably took a little bit. But you know what? How to fix this is we need to disconnect now the coal that's pumping into the fuel for this truck. I forgot to take that off, so that would be why I can actually hover down to the ground, so I don't take damage. That's cool. Even when you're out of power, you don't die. But yeah, we're gonna have to get some coal coming in here before it ends up breaking the rest of the system. It looks like everyone is kind of working at 100% still, at least. Oh, these ones are starting. Okay, so yeah, let's get on. Let's fix this really quick. All right, problem solved. It'll take a few minutes to balance itself out again, but we got that all figured out. So I'm glad I kind of caught that when I did, because that would have made for quite a messed up system here eventually. You know, that won't really be a big issue. We'll just have to make sure there's fuel in that truck over there. The only thing we're just waiting for the Mark III miner, which we're very close to, and then we can easily keep this as a full fed system and don't have to worry about it. It actually reminds me to go check on that one concrete truck I have over there though, and make sure that its liquid biofuel is still up and running. Looks like everyone's still running over there though. So while we're here, we'll just get this finished off and done. I'm going to take, so we get 112.5 from each one. I'm going to take this, I need 80. So I need to I'm going to take this one and we're going to make it into a balancer. So we're going to grab a splitter. Okay, I think I got this right. I don't really usually do a lot of this perfect numbers, splitting, merging and stuff. So we have our 225, I think. Yeah, 225 aluminum casing coming out of here, right? So we got that coming in here. It goes into a splitter. Just the rest of it goes off to the side. So In this splitter, I have 2 Mark 1 conveyor belts. So that splits off 120, right? I mean, I guess I could have technically done this also, just done it like split it the one way. So I could take out this belt and I could just make this Mark 2. But for just ease's sake, we'll just leave it as it is. So these 2, so 60 and 60 are merged, like one goes here and then one goes here. So you got 2 lines of 60. So this line of 60 then splits 3 ways. So you got 1, which will send 20 that way. You got 20 that comes up over here and another 20 that comes off over here. So theoretically, that should be 60 there and 20 there, giving me the 80 total that I'm going to need for my line. And then the rest continues to just go on like the rest has been the whole time. So now I just need to hook up this belt to this little input way down over here, which is actually pretty simple. I'll just send it down below and we'll just hug it along the ceiling here with everyone else. Or I'll keep it up top for now and just bring it down and around. So we do have a few other belts to contend with here. Grab our little conveyor hole. I'll pop that right. It's actually a line. There we go. I should have enough room running all the way down along here without intersecting with anybody. And then we're going to grab our lift here out of the hole. Just like that. Hook that up through there, and that should start to send all the aluminum casings that I need down the line there. Like I said, should be 90 per minute, or sorry, 80 per minute. I mean, we'll be able to tell. Wait, is this Mark II conveyor belt? Okay. Like I didn't put a Mark 1 belt here, did I? Because I got to move 80, not 60. So that's Mark 2, and then everything else should be right. So, I mean, we'll definitely keep a close eye on this one, make sure it rebalances itself out. I mean, it already looks like it's fine. And then, so now we'll be able to head on over. I'm just going to run over to, where is it? There's a truck docking station right around. I don't know why this is green. Why are some of these green? When did that happen? I don't know why that is, but this truck, I think it's this dock station right here needs to be checked. I'm glad I came to check it, and yeah, it is this one over here because it has like no packaged biofuel left over. So we're gonna load you up for now. I'll come reload this up again because I got a bunch tucked away at storage anyway. That really just reminds me, like, this whole thing isn't even supposed to be here. I was just supposed to re-record this truck line so it actually drives over to the fuel depot and actually picks up the fuel. So I'll definitely just have to set myself a reminder to do that. But for now, that should take care of it, and we won't have too many problems. Just check my power here, make sure nothing too crazy is going on. It looks like my max consumption is pretty at my capacity now. But as you can see, I'm still way below. I'm like 3,000 megawatts below my consumption. Now, I am going to need quite a bit of megawatts to get my project going in the future, like in the next episode. But that's why we've got 22,400 megawatt hours stored away in our battery towers. That's why those battery blueprints ended up being so handy. Because now you could basically lose power to my entire system and everything would still run for a while, which is pretty good. You know, you definitely don't ever need batteries, but they're definitely helpful to have when you're pushing your limits on your power usage. So let's go back and check out our crystal our crystal oscillator and our radio control unit factory. Make sure that's all balanced out, and then we can wrap up the episode for today. All right, back at the old radio control unit crystal oscillator factory, and look at that. It is running. I did forget to hook up my computer line to come up to the actual manufacturers here, but it is all set up now, ready to go. So we should have our first glimpse of the radio control unit here any moment. It looks like they take a little bit of time to produce. And if you wanted to throw some summer sloops in there just to get yourself a few extra to get yourself started, you definitely could. And there's our radio control units going into storage. Excellent. And then also, I mean, not that we're going to see it now, but when our crystal oscillators eventually get backed up, you will see them fly into that sink as well. So I believe that is technically the end of the episode. As far as I can tell, it is all balanced. Like, everything is just kind of sort of unloading itself now that we've got everything hooked up and all the machines are going to start working. So let me just double check that everything's got all their proper inputs. I see crystal oscillators working properly here. It looks like we're essentially just waiting on materials on this one, which kind of makes sense because I made such a giant logistics floor. So yeah, I think that'll bring us to the end of today's episodes. Thank you guys again for hanging out with me for another one. If you guys enjoyed it and want to see some more, make sure you subscribe, leave a comment down below. Hopefully I've got a couple, maybe I might mix in some game called Core Keeper. This is a big favorite of mine. Got a really big update recently, and I haven't played it actually in probably almost 2 years now. So I think I might try jump back into it. Apparently there's eventually going to be like some automation and stuff added to that too. So it'll kind of be almost like Satisfactory, but with a lot of other stuff too. So I think I'm going to try some of that, but we'll also continue the Satisfactory train rolling. Especially when I've got some super big projects coming up here I'd like to get started on, so we can make some real progress in the world. But yeah, if you guys have any questions, comments, concerns, feel free to join the Discord. Other than that, I'll see you guys in the next episode.